Hey gang, it's JC, and this is your Daily Dose for Wednesday, April 14th, 2010. The weather is beautiful. We are enjoying it, and I'm going to tell you something. Some of the coldest days of my life I can remember being ball games at Busch Stadium during the month of April, and it just looks like we're going to miss either all or most of it. So here we go with a new episode of the Daily Dose. And by the way, anytime you want to see some of the old ones, feels like it's snowing. No wonder people are sneezing. Anyhow, you want to see old episodes of the Daily Dose, just hit the menu bar up top and click on JC's Daily Dose, and you can see some of the old ones. We are expanding this site little by little, and soon this thing's going to explode into a giant website full of all sorts of cool stuff. But in the meantime, let's get going. We are doing this, by the way, for a number of reasons. Number one, I am still under contract through March of 2011. That's next year. That's almost a whole another year, and I just don't feel like sitting around doing nothing. So that's number one. Number two, our radio show was yanked because I make too much money. Now, when they pulled the plug, they made up this story about the ratings being off, and that was a lot of crap. So that's number two. I make a lot of money, and that segues into number three, because they make a lot of money off of me. You have no idea how much radio stations make off a successful morning show like ours, but see, they don't want to pay anymore. When I say they, I'm talking about pretty much the entire industry. The economy is bad. There's a glut of talent that has been laid off out there. People panic. They go to work cheap. It sort of hurts everybody in the long run, but that's the way it is. And reason number four we're doing this, I am a non-conservative, but if you work cheap and you're a conservative, you might not be very interesting to listen to, but they'll give you a job. The whole industry is turned cheap. So that's why we're here on the internet at JC's Daily Dose, jcontheline.com. All right, let's talk a little show business news here. We're going to start today with Conan. Now, I have three very good sources on the Conan O'Brien story. And the big story is that there's really no big story. If you're looking for some big backstory, there really isn't one. Conan was negotiating with Fox, but Fox had all sorts of affiliate problems. I mean, if you take Fox 2 here in St. Louis as just the local example. Okay, so they got the Fox News Edge that runs at 10 o'clock, which is what time Conan wanted to go on the air, and they're not going to dump that show. And then after that, I think they got Seinfeld, they got other shows, and all these Fox affiliates all over the country have contracts for all these shows that are in syndication, King of Queens, Seinfeld, whatever it is. And when they sign up for those shows, a lot of times it's a multi-year contract. So Conan, who wants to work at Fox at 10 o'clock Central, and he wants to go on the air in November, I mean, he was looking at the possibility of maybe not even being on at half of the Fox affiliates across the country, and he just thought that sort of sucked. So off to TBS he went, and they're going to probably be trying to turn TBS now into pretty much a comedy network. That's what it looks like. Now, you remember watching the baseball playoffs a couple of years ago when every half inning there was a commercial for Frank TV? There were so many promos for Frank Caliendo that when he went back on the air with a comedy special that fall, he actually apologized and said, "That wasn't me, it wasn't my fault that you had to look at my goofy face like every half inning." So if you think they did that for Frank TV, wait till you see what they do with Conan. It's going to be the same thing. They're just going to load it up, especially during the playoffs this fall. But what's interesting is you'll recall that they were going to give Jay Leno a half-hour version of a show at 10:35 Central, and then have Conan go on at midnight. And Conan said, no, I won't be pushed back. So interestingly, the guy who wouldn't allow his show to be pushed back 30 minutes has now pushed George Lopez's show on TBS back 1 full hour. Show business, ain't it great? All right, let's talk about something really funny, and that is Saturday Night Live and the episode over the weekend with Tina Fey. That had to be some of the best writing I have ever seen in comedy television. And when you look at Tina Fey, and I don't want to get too goofy with this, but really when you look at her, and she's doing a lot of photo spreads right now for the covers of, I guess it's like Vanity Fair and Esquire and stuff like that, and she's all glammed out, and she looks really nice. But when you see her without makeup, that couldn't have been pretty during her youth and her adolescence. Somebody in the neighborhood, just went nuts and attacked her with a knife and gave her that big thing on the side of the face, that big scar. And, she wasn't the prettiest girl. She's got dark features. And again, that could not have been very pretty in high school and throughout adolescence. And if you really think about it, some of your best comedians are square pegs, people who did not make the football or the baseball team or the basketball team, or, you know, girls who were never invited to not only the prom, not even to a dance, never even had boyfriends. And that's where a lot of introspection comes from that really is necessary in comedy. If you're going to be a good comedian, you have to be a good observer of people. And a lot of people who are very, very successful in comedy today, and people who maybe don't look very good, gosh, think about what it must have been for them in high school. They looked even worse. So a lot of really successful comedians these days come from situations that weren't very pretty back in the day, but they're getting the last laugh right now. Congratulations to Tina Fey, making millions and millions of dollars, the toast of the show business world right now. I could not be happier for her. I want to give you one other, oh, and by the way, you know, I'm not a big fan of the iPad. I was even playing with one over the weekend, and I'm not very impressed. However, during Saturday Night Live over the weekend, Amazon ran a commercial for the Kindle, and it was just sad, because you might as well have been trying to sell a combination Edsel Walkman 8-track giant cell phone with an aerial that you had to pull out about 3 feet. It was just sad. All right, I want to turn you on to something. If you haven't already found it on Comedy Central, there's a comedian by the name of Daniel Tosh, and the show is called Tosh.0. Now, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, this is an acquired taste. There's a lot of gross out humor on the show. The guy will do almost anything for a laugh, but I'm telling you, I never miss it now. They're running it at about 4:30 on Comedy Central most afternoons, and then it runs at other times too, because they're in hiatus right now. But I'm telling you, I laugh my ass off at this show every week. And again, Tosh.0 on Comedy Central. Check it out. You might laugh too. All right, one or two final things here. The Lilith Fair is coming back to the Verizon Wireless Amphitheater after a couple of years. It's been off, and again, this is that thing for the chicks, and I'm going to get to that in a minute here. But this year it's going to be Sarah McLachlan and Emmylou Harris. I like her. The Indigo Girls, Least Complicated, good song. Kelly Clarkson, love Kelly Clarkson. You got your Nora Jones, she's a lot of fun. Also Rihanna, Trainwreck. Sheryl Crow, I adore you, Cheryl. Also, Anna Nancy Wilson, Heart. Okay, they're coming through. Now you got to sit through that stupid Colby Callier. Remember that, what's a bubbly song? It says, drink from the hose, picking my nose, that thing. But it's coming back in after a couple of years on hiatus. And again, this is just very interesting. I think that the Lilith Fair sort of burned out for a very, very obvious reason. And that is, women would all go with their friends, no guys sort of allowed. If you wanted to go, you could. But it was basically a chick thing. And then at some point, the girl would get thirsty or hungry and say, honey, would you get... And then realize she was there with her girlfriends. There was nobody to buy her a beer. So now she had to go buy her beer. While she's standing in line, she's going, wait a minute. I'm buying my own beer. I had to buy my own ticket, pay for my own parking. So what the hell is going on here? I need a boyfriend back next to me to buy stuff for me. And I think that's why the Lilith Fair burned out. But we'll just see if it can make a comeback. Oh, wanted to give you some stats, by the way. We were talking about the late night TV shows. According to the New York Times, here's the median age for everybody who's on late night TV. Jay Leno, average age, median age, sort of the same, 56 years old. 56. That's your median age. Nightline, 55. Letterman, 54. Craig Ferguson, 52. Jimmy Kimmel, 52. Even Jimmy Kimmel's median age audience is 52. Jimmy Fallon, 50. Jon Stewart, 40. The Colbert Report, 37. And George Lopez Tonight, median age, 33. All right, a couple of things. Lastly here, John Tesh and Oprah. Ew! All right, eye candy today. JC's eye candy. A great shot of Keith Kachuk. They honored him yesterday, and he's smiling. And the picture is priceless. Okay, it's right below where we are right now. A little box there, JC's eye candy, Keith Kachuk, formerly of your St. Louis Blues. All right, tomorrow we will be back with another Daily Dose. Spread the word. Tell your friends that we are here every day, Monday through Friday. In the meantime, that's JC's Daily Dose for Wednesday, April 14th, 2010, here at jc'ontheline.com. In the meantime, we've beaten this one to death. Have a good one. See you later. Bye.